coach basketball, and I do Connect full-time. Prior to doing Connect, I was actually in the wireless business for 14 years. And the last company I was with was Verizon. I'm sure some of you heard of Verizon before, right? So I was a store manager, worked a lot of hours. I worked about 55, 60 hours a week, sometimes 6 days a week. I had off one day. They paid me just enough to believe I had a really good job. But I was like one bad month away from losing everything. Aren't we all in that situation, right? So I had a friend for about 2 years bug me about coming to take a look at this. And I was never a fan of network marketing. In fact, I was the farthest thing away from network marketing. You see, I was married and had a wife that was a stay-at-home mom. She got bored and wanted to do something. And one day she came to me and said, I would love to do this business with my friend. I knew nothing about network marketing, but I did bless her upon doing it. It was Mary Kay. It was makeup. So they had a $500 basket of goodies that she could buy and get her business started. What I didn't understand was in about 2 weeks, she'd come to me about another friend hitting her up about another business. This time it was in the health field with Herbalife. So there's two network marketing businesses going on in the same household under her. And another thing I didn't know anything about was auto ship. But I quickly realized when the credit card bill started going up and stuff started showing up at the door every 10 minutes. It was awful. It got to a point where she couldn't get rid of it, she couldn't sell it, she couldn't even give it away. And I said, honey, we can't do this anymore. You know, you're a stay-at-home mom. I'm the sole breadwinner of the house. I'm the one making the money, and you're the one spending it on this stuff, right? So I had a bad feeling about network marketing altogether. And that left a bad taste in my mouth and really didn't want to even see what this opportunity was about. But what was funny was one night, I had a stressful day at work. And here I am at work, just looking out the window. It's funny, it was a Tuesday night, and it was raining, kind of like right now, except the windows are open. And I'm looking out this window, and I'm thinking to myself, man, there's got to be something better for me out there, something with more purpose, something that matches who I am and what I want to do, something that fits my passions of helping people and so forth. So here I am in the midst of talking to myself. I started saying a little prayer, and then I go home that night, and I was tired, kicked off the shoes, laid on the couch, and I'm just flipping through the channels. Guys, don't we do that? We never can find anything. We're just kind of flipping. Well, I come across an investment talk show where they were interviewing Warren Buffett. And anytime they're interviewing somebody that's a billionaire, I'm going to stop and listen to what they got to say. And so I stopped for a moment, flipping the channels, and started listening to Warren. And he started talking about deregulation of electricity, energy. And next thing you know, he said the words that forever changed my life. He said the largest transfer of wealth in human history will come off the deregulation of energy. The minute he said that, I picked up the phone and I called that friend that's been annoying for 2 years and I said, are you really making money with this thing? And I'm a visual person, not to get in this business, but I did ask, could I see some checks? And they weren't large, they weren't thousands of dollars or anything like that, but they were consistent. I looked for the dates, I looked for his name, I looked for the company's name, made sure they were current. Some were 500, some were 700, and so on. I thought to myself, this guy's like 15 years younger than me. I can do this business if he can do this business, right? So I said, why not? I hopped on board. I had one goal in mind. That goal was to go out and get 15 personal customers. I didn't think I could drive a car or quit my job or any of that stuff. I didn't realize that night that I prayed, this was the thing I prayed for, and God literally opened the doors up to this opportunity. And it has been totally life-changing for me. Today, this is all I do, other than coaching basketball and being a full-time dad, which I really enjoy, also a grandfather now. So, you know, over the last 6 years, it's been amazing, I have to tell you. In my first 30 days, I actually went out and got my first 15 customers. That was my first goal. And it wasn't easy by any means. My first 3 calls couldn't have went as bad as they did. I mean, I don't even know. Sometimes I ask myself, what made me go that second day and that third day? And it went like this. First call was to my dad. My dad hung up on me saying, this was a scam. What are you doing? My mom, who's 100% Greek, and you'll hear from George, who's 100% Greek. He knows how women are, Greek women, right? They're like Italians. They speak with their hands. Well, my mom basically threatened me on the phone. She said, I've been with PPL forever. And I said, well, Mom, who do you know at PPL? She said, nobody. Well, how much do you love your grandkids, right? I was trying to throw that on her. And she said, Jason, if you mess my bill up, it's your you know what. And I'm not going to lie, I hung up the phone thinking, if they mess my mom's bill up, I'm flying to Dallas, Texas. It's going to be on. But thankfully they didn't. I didn't even know what I was talking about at the time. And then the third call happened to be to my older sister, Nikki, who ironically joined 5 minutes before I can call her with her neighbor across the street who's actually on the shortest team. So that was my first 3 calls, guys. I mean, I don't know if it could have went any worse, but my mom always taught me, if you set a goal, make sure you complete it. And my goal was to get free energy, and I hit it in a month. And then at that point, I had an opportunity to go up to Rochester, New York, and I met Steve Fisher. And that pretty much changed it all for me. Steve was my executive director, good friend and personal mentor for about 4 years before he became corporate. Now he's all of our mentors, which is cool. But I remember him and I standing together at the doorway of the hotel. He was getting ready to go on the airplane, and I was getting ready to ride home to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania from Rochester. And he puts his arm on my shoulder and says, "We got to get you promoted." And I knew right from that point, from what he taught me over that weekend, what I learned from the other leaders, that I was going to make this work. And I went home that very same night. I had 2 appointments set, and I actually sponsored my first 2 people. I was that excited, I probably could have ran home from Rochester, which is a good 4.5, 5 hour drive. So I got home, got them excited. From that point until November, I want to say 22nd, which was maybe 3-4 weeks, promoted to managing director. And then February 7th, senior director. And then at 28 months, executive director. So I just put my head down. I got really focused. I had like blinders on. I didn't care about the negativity that was going on. I was looking and thinking positive, and I was plugging in as much as I could. I didn't miss a meeting for like 6 months. So you guys can do this too. You just got to have that same drive, that same focus, that same hunger inside. And anybody can do this business. It's just really up to you. And find some people, some mentors in this business, and lock arms with them. You'll find GK, myself, lots of leaders out here willing to help anybody. That's one thing that I really loved about this company. How many of you going to Connection this year? Good. Glad to see all those hands up. Hopefully by the end of this, all of you are going, because it was totally life-changing for me in my 4th month of actually going. So, you guys ready to hear the business? All right. Yeah. Connect. Connect is our name, and that's what we do. We connect people to opportunity. We also connect them to savings. Savings that everybody already has fixed in their budget. Simple services such as wireless and energy. Who doesn't have a wireless bill and an energy bill? Anybody? Okay, we don't have any Amish people in here. Excellent. Now, Connect, we are a nationwide company with wireless. Therefore, we can serve in all 48 states under our wireless umbrella. As far as energy goes, we're in the deregulated states, which are currently 9 states plus DC. So I count that 10. Right? We started in Texas in 2005, went to Georgia in 2008, and then 2011 came up into the Northeast, where many of those markets are even dual market. They do gas and electric, which is kind of cool because you can get 2 bills in one, versus Georgia being only gas and Texas being only electric. But again, mobile is nationwide. Relationship marketing, this is the way we chose to go and market our service. We could have went out and hired a bunch of people, CEOs and regional managers and telemarketers and door knockers and all that stuff that the other suppliers do, but we chose to go out and find people like you that go out and find customers in their warm market. And I'm talking friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, and people you do business with. Those are the 5 things you're looking for within your warm market. And as you gather those customers and they pay their bill, that revenue comes back to Connect, and we get a piece of that, which is really cool. In the cell phone business, what we did on the 1st and then on the 30th, we started back over on the 1st. Do I have anybody that's been in sales in here? Okay, so you all know what I'm talking about, right? Unless you had a residual type base, which is very rare in any sort of sales business, whether it's real estate or cars or cell phones or what have you. This was just a neat thing that really hit home to me. I thought to myself, wow, all the phones I sold in 14 years, imagine if I just got like a nickel or a quarter or 50 cents on each one of them. That would be pretty sweet. Now the company's a proven success. Here's our corporate office based in Dallas, Texas. It's a beautiful office. If you haven't been there, I'd suggest you, while you're down in Texas for Connection, maybe go and take a tour of it. The company has paid out hundreds of millions of dollars in commissions to people like you and I. We're also one of the top 20 direct selling companies in North America. I like to point that out because the companies ahead of us have been in business 40, 50, 60 years. They also have an international presence where we don't. Do you know we're only in our 15th year, and most of our business was really done in just a handful of states with energy? Mobile, we just broke into in 2015. So there's a lot of growth yet. There's still another 40 states we haven't even opened up for energy. think about those possibilities down the road, and now we have other services coming like Truby, and other services that could possibly come through the wireless, like in-home internet. That stuff really excites me. That's what gives me that connect insomnia. It's really good sleep thinking about that. We're backed by an experienced executive team led by Bouncer Shiro, our CEO, obviously our founder, Rob Snyder. Pierre, can't say his last name, Pierre Sony or something like that. Super nice guy. And then also Steve Fisher, who, again, was my mentor for almost 4.5 years. Good guy. So glad to have those guys down there along with Ryan Morris and the whole gang. It's a very simple business plan. We just enroll a handful of customers and we go out and teach others to do the same. If you wish to go out and get lots of customers, you can do that too, which I'll share with you here in a minute. But if you choose to build a team, you can do that too. It's neat. We have 2 compensation plans within this company. Getting started is really simple. One-time enrollment fee of $199. There's no quarterly or yearly dues or anything like that. You do have an optional website and back office tool, which I encourage you to get. It's $24.95. I'll be honest with you, it's 2020. If you don't have a website today, you really don't have a business in today's world. Everything is done by the web. So I definitely encourage you for that. But there's some other things I'd like to point out. One being the back office. It gives you a full downline reporting system of your entire team. So you know how many customers are going in. You know when they're triggering their bonus checks, so you can congratulate them. You also know when you're getting your checks. But what also is really neat is that VIP travel. Does anybody in here use that VIP travel? Cool. I see a lot of people. George, tonight. There we go. $60. That's a good deal. You know, my daughter went to. She lives in South Hill, Virginia, and she went and saw a Post Malone concert with her husband. And she said, "Dad, you saw that VIP travel thing?" So I went on there and booked her hotel for like $70. It was a pretty sweet deal. Normally it would have been like $119, so it was a pretty good $40, $50 savings there. I could tell you another time down in, my son graduated the Marines down in Paris Island, and my daughter went on and she booked us 2 rooms. They were $159 per night. I went on and found 2 rooms for that price. Mm-hmm. So guys, use that Travel Plus, and you can book it for your family. Like I booked the room for my daughter. I paid for it, but I booked it with her name, so she went in, checked in, and it's a pretty neat deal. That all comes free with your back office, and you'll see other things at Connection that are also going to come with that too. I think you'll be really excited about. 2 ways to get paid: immediate income and recurring income. Recurring income is that MEI, that monthly earned income, that residual that we get paid. Immediate income, you go out and you turn your website on. The company will give you 2 points for that. Then you become your own customer, right? Whether it be electric or wireless, there you have a point. You go out and get one outside customer. It could be your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, a good friend. Somebody owes you a favor, right? Hey, remember I did that favor for you? I need a favor now. Make them a customer. You earn your first check, which is $100. They call it PCB4, Personal Customer Bonus 4. That's $100. You can do that in your first night. I have a rule on my team: 72 hours or less. I want to get my teammates off to a fast start. I want to get them triggering that first bonus, because when you go to present this to people, what's the question they ask you? Well, have you made any money yet? Right? Yeah, that was me. I said the same thing, right? So you want to get them off to a fast start so they start earning money. That check is also the validation check, that belief, like, oh, this company sends me what they said they're going to send me. Now, we're not going to stop there. We're going to go out and start introducing this to some folks, help them do exactly what you did, and that will then help you promote to our first leadership ranking of regional director. At that point, you get $100. It's called TCB 14 Customer Bonus 4, by helping each one of them do exactly what you just did. And then you just promoted, so it gave you a $300 regional director bonus. Altogether, that's another $500 check. So now you're up to $600. Now you're not going to stop there. You're going to keep going out and getting more customers. Once you get customer 7, they'll send you another check. Customer 10 and customer 15. At that point, $500, $500. Now you're up to $1,700. You paid $199 to get in. You're at, what is that, $1,500 profit? It's a pretty sweet deal. Now that's going to give you some excitement. But what I was hooked on was that free energy, getting that 15th customer, having that free energy check coming in every single month. You know, October 1st was my 6th year in the business, and I went back and calculated what I saved over 6 years. It was over $12,000. Wow. So I tell people, if all you ever do is go out and get 15 customers, you hit a home run with this business. Take that money and put it in a savings, an IRA or something, you know. Save that up. Over 6 years, $12,000. That's pretty neat. I'd rather go in my pocket than PPL's. Customer Plus. This is a neat part of our business. When I started, it was all about team building. And then we realized there's a lot of people out here that go out and get a lot of customers. Let's set up a compensation plan for them, and that's where Customer Plus comes in at. For every 15 customers you gather, as you can see, 30, 45, 60, and this goes into unlimited. You can have as many as you want. There's a gentleman in Philadelphia who has over 700 customers, and his residual monthly is $9,000. He's a senior director. If he was an ED, he'd be a top 50 income earner. That's pretty impressive, guys. Think about that. You can go out and get 1,000 customers if you really want to. It's really up to you. What's neat, though, is it adds $200 every single time you gather 15 customers, and it pays you a one-time bonus of $500. So for your first 15, you made that upfront bonus money. You got your free energy check rolling in. You had another 15, you added 200 on top of that free energy check. You had another 15, you added 400. You had another 15, you added 600, and so on and so on. It's a pretty neat deal. Leadership bonuses. This is just extra money by going out and building your teams, helping those become successful the same way you did. And as you start to move up the leadership ranking, you start making additional bonus dollars that range from $25 up to $300. And that's a pretty sweet deal, because when you build a team, I call them franchises. You build your regional director franchise, your managing director franchise, your senior director franchise. Even though I'm an executive director, I'm still getting paid on those. In fact, I made more money in my senior director code than I made in any of them. It's pretty incredible. So you can keep building, keep growing, and keep promoting. And all those bonus checks keep coming in. There are people joining my team in Georgia, in Rochester, New York, Ohio, Maryland, people I don't even know, I've never met, never talked to, unless that person put me in contact with them, you know? So that's a pretty neat deal. There's a saying here, we don't get paid for what we do, we get paid for what we start. That's a pretty neat thing. Incentives, as you grow and you develop and turn into a leader, they reward you for that with a vehicle. Also trips. Let's see, this year they're sending us to London and Paris, and then we have Cancun in October. That total, just within my 6+ years, will be my 11th and 12th trip I've earned from this company. It's pretty amazing. I didn't see that in the beginning, guys. I just want to make that very clear. I didn't see driving this car like I have for the last 3 years. I didn't see that in the beginning. I saw free energy. And so I encourage you to find something that motivates you, and set that goal and start small. And then once you achieve that, go to your next goal. So my first goal was free energy. My next goal was to make $500 a month. And that was going to be a vacation fund for my kids. And before you know it, that 500 turned into 1,000, and then 15, and then 2, and so on and so on. So start small, just like I did. We all start at one level, and as we go along, we continuously work at it, we continuously grow. Our goal is to become bigger and bigger. This slide we've already went through. Monthly earned income, residual, 5 levels payout. This is on every single level. So whether you're a regional director or a national director, there's a 5-level payout residually on each one. Giving you an example here, if you're just going out and getting your first 15 customers and 2 business partners and teaching them each to get only 5 customers, like we're going to start small here, down 5 levels, you're talking about 50, 60 business partners and a couple hundred customers. That's going to net you $6,000 a year. Now, some people might look at this and say, you know, that's not really life-changing, right? But to some people, that really is. If you actually read in the U.S. Today back in 2008, 2009, there was an article that said if the average household had an additional $300 to $400 of income, they wouldn't have lost their home back then when we had that whole financial crisis. So imagine what 450 extra dollars could mean to you. And then think of it even to this point. Walk in and ask your boss tomorrow, can you earn another $450 a month? He probably or she probably laugh at you, right? Tell you you're at the wrong job, right? But you can do that here, and it doesn't stop there. This is just showing you just a small step in the business, but if you went out and sponsored a few more people and taught a few more people to go out and get some more customers, before you know it, that check would keep increasing and increasing and increasing. There are people in this business like George back here, that's probably a quarter of what some of these guys make and ladies make. I know people that are making a lot more than that. You all know Presley Swaggerty, right? I think his residual now is over $200,000 a month. That's incredible, right? That's incredible. So that's my portion of the business presentation, and I get to bring up a nice senior director.